Blues Matters again. We have Henri Herbert, piano player.
Henry.
Henry, I thought Henri with the France. Sorry. Henry, I'm Colin.
Hey, Colin.
How are you? Where are you from? Where are you staying?
Right now I'm in Austin, Texas, and I was born in France, but I grew up in England, and I now live in America. Yeah, it's 5 years.
And what's your musical journey? What made you want to be a piano player?
Probably listening to Jerry Lee Lewis and Little Richard when I was a kid. And definitely from the age of about 4 or 5 when I heard those records that my dad had. And then when I got more into the blues, when I got a bit older and more into Muddy Waters records with Otis Spann playing piano, and then the great blues piano players like Memphis Slim and then Champion Jack Dupree, and then the Boogie Woogie guys, Albert Hammond's, Pete Johnson, Leadless Lewis, and then the New Orleans guys, Russell Longhair and Dr. John and James Booker. So that was the order of discovery. And still today, I'm still on a journey, now I live in America, in Austin and Nashville. I live kind of halfway between both of those places all the time. And I have always got an ear to the music that's happening and living and breathing in those places, and in New Orleans as well. Still to this day is a living thing. So I'm still on that journey, still listening to what's happening.
And what took you to the piano? When did you have your first lesson?
First piano lesson was about 6 or 7, but I'd already been fooling around on the piano at that point with listening to my dad's records, trying to copy the rhythms of those early rock and roll records, and early Elvis too. And I was fascinated because I realized when I was listening to early Elvis stuff that didn't have piano, I could play along with it on the piano. And that's when I realized that I was able to play the music. The music was bigger than whatever instrument you were playing it on. I realized you could play anything you want on the piano. But then I had some lessons, but I didn't really get on too well with them because I was really into the blues and boogie woogie stuff, rock and roll stuff, and always wanted to do that.
And did you have a band, a first band?
Yeah, I had actually, when I first started out, I was playing on my own. I was doing solo stuff around East Anglia, around Essex, where I grew up, around Southend and around Clacton-on-Sea. And I'd get up and guest with bands. They'd feature me as a kind of mascot of the night when I was this young child playing piano. And then as I got older, I had to accompany other people in bands. I started to join bands, and I was in many bands. When I moved to London, I was in many bands. I was in a lot of blues bands. I was in many blues bands. I was in a band called the Cadillac Kings for quite a while. And then I was in a band called Laura B. and the Moonlighters. And then I played in a lot of the rock and roll and rockabilly circuit, playing for many bands, maybe 10 or 12 different bands. And then I joined a band in London called the Fallen Heroes, and they were like I call them a London band. They played all kinds of music that's happened or been through London. I would say they played heavily influenced by ska as well, New Orleans music, right. Influenced by the blues, rhythm and blues, and definitely early jazz. And that was an offshoot, I think, that band of the British traditional jazz movement rather than the British blues. I got to experience all different kinds of stuff playing with them. We played Louis Armstrong songs, Duke Ellington songs, right. George Gershwin, and we played Ray Charles songs, and I had to learn all the flat keys to play with the horns, and it was great. And I had a residency with them every Sunday for about 3 or 4 years. And then I got asked to join the Jim Jones Revue, which was a rock and roll band heavily influenced by punk rock and the early rock and rollers. So that was a whole other thing. I'd never really learned about punk rock before. So that was a whole other thing. And that was a good time. And we were on the road for about 3 years. And I think I was many. The first band was probably those little jazz trios I used to get in Essex way back in the days.
And what kind of style do you prefer playing? Boogie woogie or rock and roll?
I love rock and roll. And for me, it's all the same, really. It's the same. It's the same thing. It's just slightly different approach, different attitude.
And when did you first play live?
Oh, wow. When did I first play live? Probably at school. You mean live in front of an audience? Yeah, it was at school.
Yeah.
It was at school. I was about 6 years old in a talent show at school.
You remember it well.
Yeah, I do, yeah.
And then when was your big break? I mean, what were you playing clubs and pubs or what?
I've never had a break. I've just hammered away years. Yeah. It just gradual increase in gigs, gradual increase over 20 years. I wouldn't say, maybe this is my break, this interview.
Right, maybe.
Who knows?
You never know. Well,
I mean,
put it another way. Put it another way. What's your proudest moment then in your career?
Proud. I think, I tell you what, I think probably getting to make my first band record, which is out this year. That's my first. I wanted to do it for years and years, and finally it all come together here in America. And I never really had, going back to your previous question, I've had a few things that have certainly helped me accelerate things over the years. And I've had things that would have done if everything had been in place. So I think the idea of a break for me is very interesting, because you can have a great opportunity, but if you're not ready for it, it's not a break. And sometimes you can be ready for an opportunity that never comes. And so I had many opportunities before I was ready for them. And then I had couple of viral videos that were a break, I guess you could say, because they got me noticed and got me around the world. I could say joining the Jim Jones Revue was a break, because it got me touring every David Letterman show. But then if I hadn't have been ready at the piano to take advantage of that, they wouldn't have been a break. So I'm thinking about, I guess my break was getting the piano when I was a kid. My parents getting me a piano. That was my break. That was it, because that was what got me ready for what was coming later. So I'm very grateful to my parents for getting me a piano. That was my break.
And are your parents musical?
Yeah, my dad is a guitarist. My dad was involved in London scene in the 60s. The British blues thing exploded. He was a session musician. He is also a classical guitarist. After that, he studied classical guitar and become a professor. And my sister plays piano, and my uncle plays guitar, and my grandfather plays drums, and he's still with us. He's 98 years old now. We play together.
Right. You mentioned your new album.
Yeah.
Shall we talk about your new album?
Yes, please, yeah.
Get it while it's hot?
Yeah. Yeah, let's do it.
Talk about the production. How did all this come together?
Well, we just, I was in Austin and we didn't have anything to do because it was the pandemic. This is going back to the pandemic. And I was sitting around all day playing piano, and I started to dream about writing all these songs. Many of them I'd already written, and some of them hadn't quite come together. And so we would get together in my buddy's backyard. There were rules about what we could and couldn't do over here. So we'd get together spaced out in the garden. It was me, a guy called Tom Lewis, who's a drummer here, very great drummer who plays with everyone here, and a guy called Kevin Smith, who's a bassist. He has had a long career of playing with legends, and he plays with Willie Nelson right now. He's my buddy, and so he was there, and my buddy Charco, the guitarist, was there. And we all get together about once a week and jam out these songs. Right. We jam them out, and then we had about 30 songs, maybe 40 songs come together, and it was never meant to be a record. And then once the world opened up, we started to play out, and people liked it, and so we thought we'd better record this. And so we went in and we just put the mics down, played the songs that we've been doing live for years. Oh. And since then, I've had a residency at Sea Boys once a week. Sea Boys is a great club here in Austin. So we just put the mic down and played the songs, did everything live, and then we overdubbed some things, like we overdubbed some backing vocals on occasion, but mainly it's all live. And then I got my friend Jim Jones to mix it from the UK, because there's things about the piano and where it sits, for me, is very important. So I got Jim to mix it to make sure I was right. And Jim knows about pianos, because when we were in the review, the piano was a big part of it. And I think also I should say that the band lineup had changed since those days when we were jamming out songs during COVID. So the band that I took into the studio a few years later was actually not the same people. It's different. We had Charco on guitar still, but on the drums we had a guy called Dino Marlowe, and on the bass Josh Williams. And those guys were really good. Great. And I think I'm happy with what we did. I'm pleased with it, and I'm excited for it. And we've been taking it out on tour. We were just in Colorado. Just drove back from Colorado yesterday, and we were in Nebraska before that. Heading to New York, going to London, like the 100 Club London in November. So I'm excited. I'm excited to get this stuff on the road and get it out there.
So have you road tested most of the songs?
All of them, yeah. I mean, we
All of them, right?
recorded many of them as well.
So talk about your songwriting. Do you have a process at all?
Sometimes I do. Sometimes I might write a poem
Right.
based on life or my experience. Sometimes I have a nice riff or some nice rhythms, and I think, what can I put to that? Sometimes just the sound of a word, not necessarily a word, just a few syllables. Sometimes the songs are much longer live than in the studio, because we jam them out sometimes and we have longer solo sections. And sometimes when I get the audience involved, they become a big exchange of energy with the audience, not necessarily just, this is the song, it goes like this, and then finish the song. Sometimes the songs change, you play them a lot. They change and then they evolve. And I think as well, I try not to confine myself to the standard blues forms or the standard boogie woogie forms. And when I choose cover songs, I try and pick unusual covers that might not necessarily be boogie woogie or blues covers, or even rock and roll covers. Try and think outside the box, think different, try and change it up a bit. Try and find things that are flavors of Jerry Lee Lewis and Little Richard, flavors of the blues that I love, flavors, rather than just try and copy it. Try and find the flavors and the feelings of that music and try and bring that out into other things, rather than just try and copy it or try and sound like else.
Yeah.
So
where did Cold City come from?
Cold City.
Yeah.
I used when I was telling you about my journey, there was another journey alongside that of all the jobs I was doing just to keep the music going and to just normal living expenses like everyone does. But then there was the added problem of getting around to play, and the added problem of getting gear, getting instruments, driving to gigs with the band and full of people. And it's very expensive when you start all that going. It's a lot of investment. And so it's not this, you can't hold down a steady job and go all in with something like that. I was doing all kinds of jobs. I was doing a dishwasher job. I was doing a docker job. And mainly that song's about my experience as a docker in Harwich and in London too. And the great thing about that job is you can kind of dip in and out of it. You don't need any qualifications to do it. You just need to be prepared to work hard and prepared to endure a lot of hardship and annoyances. And because I was the smallest guy, they'd send me in afterwards with a drill to tighten all the containers. It was all shipping containers.
Right.
And we'd load them into a ship and chain them down to the deck. And I was the little guy, so I'd have to go in and out with a screw, tightening all them up. And that would take a long time. And then sometimes we'd get on the ladders because they'd be piled 2 or 3 high, and I have to climb up the ladders and do that, tighten them up there. It was cold. It was often very cold. English weather, just really cold. And then it's a harsh environment when you're living like that, because you're hand to mouth in it. And you know, you really are on your own. You're on your own because you got a vision of what you want to do, and you do it. And people might help, but the further you go, it's like you got to make things happen yourself. Sometimes like it was very hard because there was not a lot of money coming in at the start. And so I was just getting by on belief. I was getting by on passion for this idea. Let's do the piano rock and roll band. Let's do it. Let's write songs. Let's get on the road. Let's immigrate to America. Let's have a music career. And all these things, they begin as dreams and fantasies. And then you work hard to make them happen. And so to generate money to do that and to have the flexibility to do that, you gotta do these, unless you have independent means, which I don't have. So you gotta make it work somehow. And so you end up in these places where the Cold City Blues, it's about that sort of, you're up against it because you gotta work really hard to make it happen. You got to do it yourself because no one else is going to help you.
And Guilty Pleasures.
Yeah, Guilty Pleasures. Yeah, that's the
Where
song.
did that come from?
I love Motown. Love it. Love Motown. Love all that kind of stuff. And so, actually, when we were in the JJR, we went to Detroit and we went to visit Motown. And I love the rhythms of Motown. And I love how the British bands in the 60s and beyond did stuff with those rhythms too. Like, I love everything the Rolling Stones ever did. I think they're great. And so I thought, how can I do something with that beat And I thought, oftentimes, one time I was in Hawaii, I got asked in an interview, what's your guilty pleasure? And I'd never heard of this term before. I gather it's a term, everyone says it, guilty pleasure, but it seems like something you like that you're ashamed of. So it might be a song that everyone finds easy, or it might be a food that's bad for you. And I was like, well, I don't care about all that. Just do things you like. Just do what pleases you. Enjoy yourself. And a giant F you to anyone says you can't. So that's what that song's about.
Brilliant. And nothing free.
I don't use profanity on this podcast. Like the initial.
You can use whatever you wish.
Yeah, it was a giant fuck you to people who say, oh, you can't like this because it's not cool, or I don't care. I just love music. I love all music, and I love the world, and I love nice food, and I like to have a good time. A lot of people think things are uncool, so you mustn't do them, or they think certain music's uncool, so you mustn't like it. And I'm not into any of that. I just want to listen to music that moves, or if it doesn't move me, it entertains me, or it does something. I don't actually like too many things.
Yeah. What about the song "Nothing Free"?
Oh well, that's about life. That's about life. That's about you can't get anything for free. If you think it's free, you'll pay for it later. There's nothing for free here.
And what's been the best advice you've had in your career so far?
Best advice was from a guy called Brian Adams. Everyone knows who Brian Adams is. He's a very successful Canadian rock star. And I played at a party a few years ago, and his advice was just play live. And that's the best advice ever. Just get out and play live. Get out and play gigs. Get out and do it. Because that's what it is all about now, is playing live. And people want to hear live. And records are cool. Songs are cool. Videos are cool. But really, the best thing is to go and see a ripping band playing their ripping songs on stage. And if you can plug into that, that's.
What is it about playing live that really keeps you doing it?
I love the energy. The energy just... I was in Colorado yesterday. Wow, it feels so weird to say that. We drove through the night to get home. I love exchanging energy with the audience, and it's always great feeling. Right? I've been to Japan, I've been to Australia, Eastern Europe, all over the States, Spain. It's always the same. It's a great feeling, exchanging energy, because I see myself as an entertainer more than a musician. Like I'm coming out to have a good time, and there's a place for being a musician, and I've done that as well, where people come and sit down and they just want to listen to the music. But at this point in my life, I see myself as an entertainer, and I want people to enjoy the experience for a few hours, and I want to enjoy hanging out with them for a few hours. So I like to find ways to bring them in, because sometimes it's a challenge because they don't speak English. I don't speak their language. Or I speak it very limited, like in Japan or in Lithuania, where I love to go. I'm learning a bit of Lithuanian because I'm playing there more and more. People love to just clap along and sing along, and it's a great feeling if you can move people and make them feel. That's what I like to do.
Do you find a difference in the audiences where you go? Like, say,
oh yes, but I would say it's more about the kind of gig more than the country I'm playing. I played all kinds of gigs. I did a show in France for the Royal Family of Monaco in a big theatre, and it was a sit-down type deal, very, very formal. And there were a lot of acts on, and I come on and played 2 songs. And it was like the Royal Variety performance type thing they have in England. It was like that. And it was very formal, like BBC at the proms. And that was a fun experience for me. And I hope it was for them too. I don't know. But they clap very loud, right? And then I play in the little punk rock bar in Italy, and everyone's going crazy. Everyone's drinking, having a good time, and you stage dive off the piano into the audience. And that's cool as well. So I would say it's all about what kind of venue you're at and what mood the people are in, rather than where you're at. I think there's another world that isn't about countries. It's about concert halls, dive bars, theatres, and that's the country I'm going in tonight. And then I'm going to get on a plane and go to another country, but it feels like the same stage.
Have you any favourite venues?
Yes, I have. The 100 Club in London, my favourite venue in the whole world. I'm playing in November this. Oh, wait.
And what is it about the 100 Club that you like?
I love the piano, a beautiful Yamaha piano. Jerry Lee Lewis played it. So many other greats have played it. And in the British scene, Chaz Hodges played it. And I was fortunate to get to play with Chaz Hodges at a piano event a few years ago. I miss Chaz Hodges. A great champion of rocking piano styles. It's where I first started going out to hear music. It's where I first started going out to see gigs, and I saw Ben Waters play when I was younger. And Ben's kind of hero. A few years older than me, he was out doing it, well, very busily doing it all over the world just while I was starting to get gigs, and so he was kind of an inspiration for me. Diz Watson, or there, Diz and the Doormen. Diz was a mentor to me on the piano, and Big John Carto, who we've lost now, he was just a powerhouse of piano, and he used to play there. So I used to go and see all my heroes there, and then Jerry Lee Lewis played there, so I went to see that show. And everyone's played there. Rolling Stones, Sex Pistols, the Champ, Roosevelt Sykes, Muddy Waters, just everybody. And so I love that to be in there. I love the smell, the old wood of the piano and the stage, and yeah, and the beautiful red walls and all the pictures of the greats. Like, it's great to be part of that. I love it.
Is there anywhere in Austin that you've always played?
Yeah, I love the Continental Club. Have you been to Austin?
I've not been, though.
If you do go, you should go to Continental Club. It's either country or blues every night of the week, and it's all great stuff. So yeah, I always like to go there and have a dance or have a listen, and it's always a great time. And sometimes I play there.
Yeah. What's the strangest place you've played?
Strangest, I think. Well, right now I live on a ranch. I live on a horse ranch in Austin. And we don't just have horses, we have all kinds of animals here. We have goats too, and pigs, chickens. Sometimes I roll my piano out and play for the animals just to see what they do, see if they'll react. And I think that's pretty strange. But I think playing a piano in the street is pretty strange. I think setting up public pianos is weird, but somehow I think it's great, but I think it's very unusual. And so I think that was quite strange. I did a viral video when I played in the street and no one cared, and then it went online and blew up for like nearly 80 million views now. So I think that's quite strange how something just, if you frame it, suddenly it's a thing. Or that's quite. And I think playing at Jerry Lee Lewis house, that was quite strange, but it was great. So I think those three things pretty strange.
How did you get to play there then?
I just went to hang out. When I started going to America, that's the first place I wanted to go. My friend took me there. We hung out and played piano. Well, I played piano. He didn't play piano. Yeah, it was a good time. Yeah.
And how did you end up in Austin anyway?
Well, I came here to play Southwest Festival in 2016. Because I was working with a record label at a stage here, and they wanted to play, so I came out to play. And I hired two sidemen who lived here. One of them was called Mike Buck, and he's a great drummer. He was the original drummer for the Fabulous Thunderbirds. And we did a show, and then I went to hang out, and I immediately fell in love with the city. And we went to see Jimmy Vaughan play, and then I got up to play with Charlie Sexton and Mike Buck and his brother Will Sexton. And then I went to just hang out, and I was, wow, this is all the stuff I've been listening to my whole life is actually happening here for real. And all these great musicians live here and they play every night. And I want to come here and be a part of this. I want to get involved. And I spent a month there jamming out and playing with everyone. And I decided to make immigrant America out of it. Hard to do it. That's the Cold City's a bit about that immigration journey. That's a lot of challenge. Many. And then I was become a green card holder about 2 years ago. Now I'm here for good. Yeah, and I love it here. It's great.
Yeah. Oh, good stuff. Well, what about the future? What projects have you got?
I have many things happening. I'm excited to get my record out. I'm excited to be going to play in New York City next month in London. Ooh. And I'm excited to be. I've got another album I've been working on of collaborations and duets, and with some cool. Yeah, I was in New Orleans. We cut a song with Rebirth Brass Band. We did 2 songs, and then I've got a country artist called Sonny Sweeney who lives out here. We've been working on a song for it. Ian Siegel from the UK is involved also. Ben Waters is involved. Chuck Lavelle is involved. The great piano player plays with the Stones. Many of my American colleagues are involved, and I'm very excited about it. It's going to be called Famous Friends. That's coming out next. But right now, it's all about get it while it's hot, getting that out on playing some rock and roll music. And I'm very excited because we take a real piano on the road now, a little upright piano. And there's been a dream of mine to for me, a keyboard's never quite where it's at. So it's always better to have real piano. in my opinion.
Yeah. And where do you see yourself in 5 years' time? Say, are you still going to be doing the music?
Oh yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think yeah. I don't want to stop playing.
What keeps you motivated? What keeps you doing this, doing what you do?
Well, I mean, you got to pay the bills, you know. That's one thing. But the other thing is just my friends. All my colleagues are my friends. And I just want to hang out and play music with my friends, and want to improve. Want to always look into. I just love creating things. So I love to write songs. I love to play with my band. I love to go out and hear my friends play as well. I love to go out and get involved in the scene. I never really thought. I don't think about that so much. It's never in question. Just stuff I do. It's not something I have to motivate.
Yeah. And what does the blues mean to you as a person?
The blues. Well, for me, the blues is just a wonderful music. It's incredible music, very powerful music, and it's emotion. It's a feeling. It's a feeling that is in many musics. It's a feeling, and I hear it in all the music we call the blues, like the classic blues, like Muddy Waters and Wolf and all that. But I think also I hear it. It's a very powerful feeling that's in many musics. That is in soul music, in classical music, is in jazz, is in country music. I hear it in hip hop music today. I hear it everywhere, and I love it. And it's a very powerful, very, very, very spiritual feeling. And it may even be bigger than music. It may be bigger than music. It may be deeper than that. It may be going into other realms. But it's something that is very powerful. And I think it's something that will never die. It will always be there. And I don't really know what the next thing is going to be for the blues. I don't know. But I know very beautiful, very deep.
Do you go out to see many blues bands yourself?
Yeah, I do. I do.
Who's
Went
in
out to see
Austin?
Fabulous Thunderbirds is great. And I ended up playing, did a tour with him. And then I did a show with Thunderbirds. Jim has his blues, Kim Wilson All-Stars, as well as the Thunderbird. And that was quite surreal because I did a band in England called Cadillac Kings for many years. And they used to play a lot of originals, but also Kim Wilson songs as well. And so their sound was kind of modeled on that Austin Fabulous Thunderbird sound. So I ended up playing with the Fabulous Thunderbirds after playing their songs in another band for years. I ended up playing with the actual band. That was quite fun, a fun experience. And I go and see, I went to see the North Mississippi All-Stars. That was great. And I got to jam with Luther Dickinson, and I think he's going to get or two. And I got to open up for Cedric Burnside. And while I was warming up, he come up and asked me if he would play drums with me in my set. And I said, sure, get up here. So he played drums for me. And then that was crazy. Like, that was a beautiful thing. Wow. Not many people offered to sit in with the opener, and he did. I thought I might have to pay him afterwards, but he said no. And that was a good time. And the audience was very surprised to see that, but it was a beautiful thing. And then, Cedric Burnside's great. Sue Foley's great. She plays around here a lot. Jimmy Vaughan, I've already mentioned, I think. He played after us at Seaboys every Friday. And every Sunday, there's the Willie Pipkin and Friends show at the Continental Club. And sometimes I play in that. And there's Guy Forsyth. It plays there a lot. We have a guy, Soulman Sam, who is a great blues singer who lives here in Austin. And of course, we have Gary Clark Jr., who is often here, often performing. So there's just so much, even within that, there's so much variety of blues. And it's just a great experience to be able to hear all that stuff.
Good stuff. Is there anything you want to say to Blues Matters public?
Yeah, thank you for reading. Or is this interview going to be a print interview or is it a podcast?
Oh, we've gone digital, so it will be a podcast and it will be in a magazine, digital magazine.
Okay. Thanks for reading, and if you like the story, please check out the record and come and see me play live somewhere, and I'll be very happy to see you.
Excellent. Thanks very much.
Thank you.